Yo, what's up guys? I was thinking, can Frodo plus the Hobbits clear all of the PVE dungeons? And might you ask, the only Hobbit in the game is Frodo. Kind of? I feel like that they classify as Hobbits. It's kind of representable. We're gonna take these four. This one is the one that has the dots in there, so it's not gonna help as much. But these skins of these units are actually very well rounded. And the moment that they would be made 2A, if they would ever be made 2A, because I think they're way too strong to be 2A in the first place. Because the base stats on all of these things are horrendously bad. But imagine these things on like 900 attack bases and kind of stuff. They would do so much damage. So let me go through the kits and let me explain why they're actually that crazy good. Starting off with fire, which is the most common one. It does have an attack buff in here, plus then the rolling punch kind of thing. But attack buff with an ignore defense on this skill is really darn strong. Skill 2, not that interesting. On the water one, we do have a attack bar gain and also a speed gain and then the rolling punch. But on the skill 2, we have a recovery based on your HP, which is really strong as well. Then on the wind one, we have a defense break and a healing as well. Wait, is this the healing one? Yeah, that is the healing one. But then just the healing over time thing. But then there's also healing on this. So this is double healing, plus a death break, plus an ignore defense, and an attack power decrease all in one kit. That is insane. Make that a 2A and it's crazy good. Light one is a little bit less interesting, but it does have the lead for guild content. So if you make that a 2A, that will be an interesting thing itself as well. We do have not that much interesting stuff over here on the skill 3. Skill 2 is once again the healing over here, and then we have the same skill 1 as all of them. So some of these kits, especially for, I would say, Juan and for Mao, and also for Xiao Chun, those are really darn insane. And Mr. Tianqin, I'm probably butchering half of those names right there. They will be super, super strong if they will be 2-8. And they will be super meta as well. Maybe a little bit too much meta. But let's see if Frodo, leading the charge, can actually clear all of the dungeons on PvE. But first, let me rune them up. Okay, so it's all ruined right now. Triple fighter on you, damage set with rage on you over here, damage set with rage on you over there, a little bit more accuracy based, fatal set over here, and then another damage, a rage set over there. Let's see if this does actually work or it doesn't work at all, and we're gonna try all of the dungeons. I'm fearing for Steel Fortress, but all of the others, I kind of feel like it should be working. Like 43k on the skill 1? That's just stupidness for damage. Like, their animations aren't really fast though, but they have stupid amount of damage. Also, their hits are a little bit at random, which doesn't really help that much, but yeah, we just gotta deal with that, I guess. That will be bad against like final bosses, but as you can see, like, their overall kits, look at how many buffs these things have altogether. That's just... And also the amount of damage for skill 1s coming in every time. The healing, anti-crit. There's just so much going on for the kit. Like, if they would be made 2As, they would be super, super strong. They don't really like to get the hits in from the crystals, it does look like. But so far, so good. At the final boss, I am kind of fearing for some of the other dungeons. A little bit more than I was expecting at first. Okay, we're gonna get a good bit of multi-hits in here, which is not gonna be great. And against the dragons later, I'm kind of fearing for my life the moment that we do actually get the immunity from the boss in. Uh-oh, this is gonna hurt. Doesn't kill as of yet, but we're pretty close to dead. Okay, can we get... No, if he rolled into the right one, it would have killed. Yeah, that's the issue with the Rolling Thunder. Well, still surviving, still surviving. Okay, Giants was a success. We only need one success to count it as a success, so this is very doable. It's not really recommended on a 1 minute 26 second run, but it is doable. Adding in the Frodo plus the other Hobbits once again. And we're gonna see if they also tend to work over here, which... Well, the moment that the immunity does happen, we still have the rolling punches, and the rolling punches do give a ignored defense regardless, which isn't too bad. Like, if they bounce on the right unit and they give the death breaks to the right targets and those kind of things, then it is actually super deadly, as you can see over here. Like, all of those hits coming in and that kind of stuff. If it rolled on the right one over there, it would have been a little bit better, and we lose the first Hobbit already on dragons. That's kind of unfortunate. If we had a better rotation, it would have been doable to actually keep that Hobbit alive. But in this case, are we going to lose 2 Hobbits? Almost losing 2 Hobbits right from the get-go. Maybe for dragons, the Hobbits aren't doing that well. Well, that's also kind of relatable to the lore of the Hobbits itself, I guess. And we're also rolling Thunder once again into fully wrong or like wrong hits right there as much as possible, which doesn't really help out. Gonna get our first spray in. This is where it gets a little bit wonky, I would say. How much can we do if we... Okay, good roll over there. We do get a little bit of healing coming in back in. This is not where... boss already started critting too much. We had the anti-crit. Anti-crit did not really want to work. Okay, we have 2 water units that could maybe make it work, but I'm expecting a crit from this. No crit, but the glancing still does too much damage. Okay, Hobbits against the dragon. Not that recommended. That is where you lose. Hobbits versus a Necroboss, however. We have some issues maybe with the reflects. I would say that there are enough multi-hits if there's nothing else to hit on the field. So I think that that shouldn't be that much of an issue. The main issue is what reflex kind of killing our own assets. Don't hit. Well, they heal an insane amount for like how much HP they have, but that's also a big issue. They just simply don't have that much HP, so just a little hit on them and they're kind of dead. So that's once again, if they were to aid, they would be getting 4.5-star base stat value, and then suddenly they would start doing a lot more value for just how much HP and base stats they have in the first place. Because, yeah, those hits kind of do tend to hurt. And I'm scared for example, the fire one going hard in with the skill 2 on one of those things and nearly clearing itself. Okay, something like that. Okay, so far so good. So far so good. I think that in here there are... Well, it depends how many rolls we get enough multi-hits. And the skill 3 of, I think, Wind one is multi-hit. So we kind of have to work with those multi-hits. But, yep, that's a multi-hit right there with a roll. Okay, not a roll, sidekick. Sidekick is also multi-hit. Okay, okay. We do also have healing. So the healing does make it where we might get away with it at some point. But we kind of need, yeah, the full rotation kind of gets to the point where we don't have any skills properly. So... and that thing could ignore defense me, which isn't that great as well. Wait, that thing also has the soul barrier? I did not even know that, Loki. Yeah, this is kind of hard with the amount of multi-hits. I was expecting a little bit more multi-hits to come from all of these units, but we're kind of getting there. The only issue is that this boss is getting stronger after the amount of times he did do his skill or something like that. I don't even remember the full mechanics on this. And every time that the final one that's hitting is the multi-hit itself, which... Turn order on this one doesn't make too much sense. I would say that the light one would have had to move earlier. But, yeah, that just ain't gonna happen. And we're just like, we're all drinking. Like, we're not hitting the boss, we're just drinking. Like, every time, one more drink, one more drink, one more drink, one more drink. That's just all we're doing. They're also not rolling their punches. Okay, okay, that's... Yeah, oh, I thought the other one would move right after. If the other one would have moved a little bit more, it would have had an option right there. Don't kill me, please. Okay, didn't kill me as of yet. Can we get some healing in on our own team? Because we desperately need it right now. Otherwise, we're going to lose one. I think we're going to lose one. Okay, one more drink. Ooh, good time. Okay, then they all start... These things have an II of a fucking potato, man. Full HP, let's drink. Full HP, let's drink more. That's... kind of sounds like that right there. But, yeah, can we get rolling? Yep. Oh, no, but a sliver of health. Okay, this is where this boss starts to do a lot of damage. This is where we would need to get more drinks in, but we all start drinking at the same time, which then doesn't really help the output of the damage. Okay, okay, we got some in there right now. I'm not sure if this is gonna kill because he's already at 8 stacks. Not just yet. Come on, give me a good rotation. Now we're all starting drinking again. Why do they have perfect eye for drinking though? Like, that's what it seems to be. They always drink at the same time, which is not really recommended at all. Okay, don't kill my own wind unit in the process right now. Thank you. No rolling. Okay, did not crit on the ignored defense over there, I think. But if we take it out right now, he comes back with super low HP, and I think he will die. He doesn't die as of yet. Did not get a crit. If he did get a crit over there, it would have been bad. Okay, this is the moment where we have to start... Okay, defense break. Yes. Yes. Don't start all drinking. No, they started all drinking. Okay, rolling punch. Yes. Yes, we can make it. This was a relatively 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Damn, that's like taking your time going back home from the pub after a good bit of drinking, but then it's in hours rather than minutes. But damn, did work out, strangely enough. Okay, do we really have to try Spiritual Realm and Steel Fortress? Yeah, we do. This is gonna be horrible. 2 out of the 3 were a success so far. So let's see about these. This one, we are going to be fighting the final boss, which might be an issue. Getting to the final boss should definitely not be an issue whatsoever. I don't expect too much issues on this mid stage, neither, unless we do absolutely no skills and we just start randomly drinking. At least we clear some of the side units, which, well, not that they do that much in the first place, I guess. Interesting also for most of the time, a mid unit is like a 4-star or a 5-star. This is the only one that has a 3-star. Well, no, the golem also, I guess, has a 3-star golem. But at least that has an annoying passive. This thing pretty much doesn't do anything, which kind of nice for the run itself. But the biggest issue on this one is always the final boss rather than the mid stages itself. So let's see if we can get a good rotation on those. And also those rolling punches where they go fully at random. They're not really helping. Not really helping. Very curious to see if this would actually work in Steel Fortress. That's definitely a thing right there. So, okay. Did get resisted on the Death Break, which definitely does not help. And this is where the boss starts taking a lot of turns and getting slows in and that kind of annoying shit. And does do a good bit of damage, especially if we're glancing on the boss with the wrong elements. Yeah, that's... okay, and did not really work out. Okay. If we get some good crits in randomly, I can see the potential from the fire one. Also, the debuffs or the buffs are kind of helping us. Okay, that's once again a glancing hit. Ignore defense where it was resisted. Okay, good ignore defense over there. More drinks. More healing. Attack break. Yep, okay. One more drink. Yep. Oh, okay. Rolling punch. It's kind of working. Don't ask me how, but it's kind of working. Rolling punch. Yep, okay, taking it out. I'm surprised. I thought that this one would have been more difficult, but 1 minute 48, not the worst, not the worst. Definitely kind of horrible. Definitely would not recommend to do this at all, but yeah. Okay, this one, just for the idea of it, we got to do it right. We just got to do it because, yeah, we have been doing all of them, so we might as well just keep on with this. I think that this will be a fail. The Hobbits are not going to take the Golem. They probably might take the Punisher's crypt, but taking the Golem is too difficult. Why? Well, heal blocks, that's, or buff blocks. Buff blocks is exactly what we need, and that's exactly what we do not have in this whole team. We do have ignore defense, however, but if they would randomly clear side crystals first, let's actually force them on side crystals first. With clearing side crystals, they might be able to take it, but I still think that one laser of the Golem and that's gonna be a dead one on the Hobbits right there. Pretty darn sure on that. Even with this, sometimes the waves clear pretty fast, sometimes the waves are absolutely horrendously bad for clear, but once again, make them 2A. These are the units that would need the 2As the most. Okay, let's just clear the left one first, because that one does have the death break, I think. Yep. Can we clear that before it takes a turn? Okay, yep, we did. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. That's a dead Hobbit right there. Yep. That's not really helping. Okay, let's see if we can clear the other thing as well, because that gives the other buffs to the boss. It's looking dangerous. Well, the heals come in. The heals come in. It's kind of lowering on HP. We would have a heal block from the one on the right as well. Okay, so we have that going for us. Moment he does an S2, I think every S2 is just straight up death, so that doesn't really help our case neither. Plus he's healing and lasers, and Hobbits do not like lasers. They don't like dragons, they don't like lasers. That's apparently the case over there. We can do some tiger claws in that, but yeah, this is where we die. So moving on, 2 out of 2 or 2 out of 4 thus far. 50-50. Let's see if we can make that a little bit more than the 50-50. Oh, wait, we're already more than 50-50. We cleared 60% thus far. We have 1 more left. Let's see if it does work. Drunken Masters. I can give decent odds for being able to clear this if we focus on the side crystals properly enough first. That's definitely a main thing that has to happen. And if that happens, it's doable, I would say. Maybe. Do we have a slow on this team? No, we don't have slows on this team. Slows on this team would actually be pretty nice. It's also too bad that they start going for the one more drink for the buff when there's nothing to heal. If they only use it when there is something to heal, it would be a lot better, but they just go for it completely at random, which doesn't help that much. Also, you have a pushback on your S2, which is not recommended to go for pushbacks on this boss. But so far, so good. Would have been nice if we did not start off at 1 HP. And then also give a pushback to the boss to instantly kill my 1 Deathbreaker, which doesn't really help neither. We do have a speed buff. Taking that out pretty quickly, not too bad. Let's take out the other one as well. We go for healing, one more drink. Nearly taken out, so speed buff is almost gone the moment we collab that over there. We do have still a death break on you. I actually forgot about your death breaks. Okay, we have attack breaks. It doesn't have any skill. Heal block, well, that doesn't really help in this case. Okay, we're doing good damage. I was expecting this one to be doable-ish, but this actually looks a little bit easier doable than I expected in the first place. This thing has like near to no HP, which helps out for the ignored defenses. Yeah, the ignored defenses are shredding this boss. Well, understandable. Normally we do this with like Sonia's and Agrias and that kind of stuff. Fastest one, 1 minute 25. So, not too bad. Not too bad. Was this kind of what I expected? Yeah, I would say so. Well, maybe I was kind of having a little bit of hopes for dragons. If you do this multiple times, I kind of see how you can beat the dragon as well with just ignored defenses. This thing, impossible. So, in the end, Frodo's plus some Hobbits can bring you decently far in PvE. Would I recommend to do it though? Absolutely fucking not. Would I love to see them in 2A, and would I redo this video the moment that they're 2A in the year 2287? Yes, I would absolutely do that, guys. Thanks a lot for watching for this one. Last 2A was 2 weeks ago. The 2A before that was a year and a half ago. So I'm expecting new 2A somewhere in the year 2028 or something along those lines. The moment that they go for the 2As on these, as mentioned, the year 2287. See ya later. Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab for the guide video archive, which contains all of the guides that you might need. Hope to see you there.